Hello BBN. This was unexpected. The first loss in basketball, and it was Pope. Yes, it was unexpected, but now how to analyze this setback. Let's get to the news. First, subscribe to the channel to receive more news from Kentucky. The Kentucky Wildcats, under the command of Mark Pope, suffered their first loss of the season, a setback that not only ended an undefeated streak, but also revealed weak points of a team widely considered one of the best in the country. The loss to Clemson by 70-66 was marked by a physical game and a series of mistakes that cost the team dearly. More than just the result, the match left important lessons for a Wildcats that intends to recover quickly before a decisive duel against Gonzaga. What was evident and was promptly acknowledged by Pope is that Clemson knew how to exploit a physical and determined approach, a style that destabilized the Wildcats. Kentucky managed to stand out in the restricted area, but that wasn't enough to contain Clemson's big men, who imposed themselves in the paint relentlessly. It was a very physical game. It's a credit to them, Pope said. His analysis reflects the opponent's combative stance, which, despite being at a technical disadvantage at times, used intensity as a weapon to turn the game around. The game also brought to light something rare, a sloppy performance from Kentucky. Accustomed to a game identity that emphasizes efficiency and intelligence on possessions, the Wildcats stumbled in their execution, adding 12 turnovers against just 11 assists. The statistic not only speaks for itself, but was underlined by Pope himself. We're not a team with a negative assist-to-turnover ratio. That's not who we are, and all the credit goes to Clemson for creating that environment. This statement highlights not only the coach's frustration, but also his commitment to quickly reversing this trend. Furthermore, the loss exposed a certain desperation at critical moments, with players trying to solve problems individually, escaping the collective system that has been the foundation of the team's success. It's a flaw that Pope clearly intends to correct, especially considering the upcoming challenge against Gonzaga, an opponent that will certainly test the Wildcats' tactical and emotional limits. The context, however, should not be one of despair for Kentucky fans. The team still leads in many aspects and has demonstrated the ability to compete at a high level, even on a night when not everything went his way. Pope, known for his analytical mindset and strategic approach, is not someone who is easily discouraged by a loss. He understands that learning from situations like this is crucial to molding a team that aims for something greater. Looking forward, the matchup against Gonzaga is more than a chance for redemption. It is an opportunity for Kentucky to reaffirm its identity and prove that the mistakes made against Clemson were just a stumble on a long road. Preparing to face one of college basketball's powerhouses requires absolute focus and precise adjustments, something Pope and his coaching staff have certainly already begun planning for. For now, the loss to Clemson serves as a reminder. Even the best teams have their moments of vulnerability. But those are the moments when great teams are forged. But there are other issues to consider. And looking deeper, under Mark Pope's leadership, the team had shown solidity in the early games. But the inconsistent performance against Clemson raised legitimate concerns about the team's depth, physicality, and shooting efficiency. The game started off promising for the Wildcats, who controlled the scoreboard well in the early minutes. However, the last 10 minutes of the second half turned into a test of endurance and focus that Kentucky could not overcome. The team went more than 3 minutes without scoring, while Clemson showed greater intensity and precision. To make matters worse, foul troubles from key players like Lamont Butler and Andrew Carr further compromised the team's stability, especially in the first half, when the Tigers opened a 37-30 lead at halftime. After halftime, the game became a physical and mental battle. Kentucky showed signs of fighting back, but the scoring droughts came back to haunt the team. Clemson dominated in the details, winning contested balls and playing a suffocating defense that exposed clear flaws in the Wildcats' offense. The lack of reliable options on the bench became a critical factor, especially in moments when starters were compromised by fouls or simply could not produce at the required level. The problem of depth was evident. Despite having 12 scholarship players, the drop in performance when rotating the roster was notable. With the absence of Brandon Garrison, Amari Williams was overwhelmed, and Pope had to improvise with Carr in positions that did not maximize his potential. In addition, reserves such as Ansley Almoner and Kerr Kriisa were unable to take advantage of opportunities, raising more questions than solutions. While the average starter offers consistency, the bench still does not inspire confidence for high-intensity games. Another worrying aspect was the inability to deal with physicality. This point had already been noted in previous games, but the game against Clemson made it even more evident. When pressured by opponents who use constant contact, Kentucky seems to lose rhythm and clarity in its decisions. Furthermore, the team's lack of efficiency in free throw shooting makes these fouls a weapon for opponents, who are not afraid to compromise their defense if they know that the Wildcats' chances of converting at the line are limited. One of the pillars of Mark Pope's system is the long-range shot, but the Wildcats have seemed to lose their touch in the last 3 games. Against Clemson, the team's difficulty in making shots from the outside has dismantled the offensive spacing and overwhelmed the point guards. Despite individual flashes of brilliance, such as Carr's post-up game and Butler and Robinson's drives, the team lacks consistency in the decisive moments. Pope needs to rebuild his team's confidence on the perimeter, as this style of play is essential to the program's success. The loss comes at a critical time, as the Wildcats have a different challenge ahead, a matchup against Gonzaga in Seattle. This will be an opportunity for Pope to refocus the team and work on key areas such as rotation, response to physicality, and regaining shooting accuracy. There is a long road ahead, and this loss could serve as a necessary wake-up call to correct flaws before they become insurmountable problems. Will the test against Gonzaga be a big chance for the team? How do you think it will play out? And what will the outcome be? Your comments are important.